Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. Today, we're going to be talking about fishing in Don't Starve Together. I used to look at fishing in DST and go, do I really want to fish? I don't know. Is it worth it? Blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. Over time, I've come to realize that fishing is actually a lot easier than you might think it. Now, just getting yourself an actual fishing rod is quite easy. 2 twigs and 2 silk. Basically killing a few spiders or maybe even just finding silk on the ground. And 2 twigs is pretty much the easiest thing in the world to get, as you just walk around the world and grab twigs. Now, sometimes you might end up getting yourself into a position where a few frogs decide to attack you, especially if there's a bunch of frogs already around the pond. Now, in the case of fishing, if you do get a little bit close to the pond, sometimes a frog might jump out and decide to attack you. There's a few ways to counter these frogs. One, of course, is if provided in my previous video, where basically you put a bunch of things in your first inventory spot, usually grass or whatever you might have, and then go ahead and fight the frogs. Another, of course, waiting until, it's closer to nighttime, and then the frogs will eventually go inside the pond. But usually just leaving the frogs alone, it'll take them a while before they actually get near the pond, and usually when they get close enough, they'll eventually just jump away. Take out your fishing pole and click on the actual pond. The best thing to do is click anywhere else on the pond that you can, and when your character basically gives a struggle command, double click and you're ready to go. If you have a program like the Inside Mod, or a mod I should say, not a program, it'll basically count down and tell you how many fish are left in the pond, usually 10, unless somebody's already fished there, and tell you when to reel in. It gets pretty simple, and within a few minutes you're probably going to have all 10 amount of fish and pretty much be able to make quite a few different dishes with it, which makes it easier to make things like fish sticks or just basically any recipes that allow fish. The bonus about this whole situation is, of course, there's multiple ponds in Don't Starve Together, and the most easiest way of actually getting yourself an ample amount of food without having to try too hard. Now, the bonus about fish is that, of course, when you decide to kill it, if you're playing Wartox, you get a soul out of the deal, and if you basically continuously do that, the actual fish stack after they've been killed. The bonus about this is, like I said, there are some really good fish dishes out there. Now, for Wartox specifically, I probably wouldn't recommend it, only because I'm not going to get the full value food out of it, but somebody that is playing a normal character that gets the full value out of it, of course, fish for days. Now, the other bonus about this too is if for some odd reason you have a wormwood in your server, you can get yourself a tiny little bit of bramble husk, go up to a said frogs, click on the frogs, and let all the frogs attack you. Now, if you're playing Wartox, I'd move them out of your first inventory spot, but basically let them go ham as long as you don't have any souls on you, or even if you did, it doesn't really matter, and the frogs will pretty much die very quickly because the bramble husk is going to do all the work for you. Now you have netted yourself a ton of frog legs, and you've netted yourself a lot of actual fish, so you can go ahead and continue to fish, with ease and not have any problem, and now you're bringing home a bunch of a bunch of frog legs and a bunch of fish pieces as well, and you still have quite a few uses left from your fishing rod. So yeah, enjoy yourself. Go out there and start fishing. Now, when it comes to deep sea fishing, I'll save that for another video, but just start out with this regular fishing because it's really good, and there's 10 fish in each pond, and they actually replenish fairly quickly. So don't worry too much about it, as over time, more fish will eventually return into the pond, and you'll have no problem at all continuously fishing throughout the year of Don't Starve Together. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.